So what does the church look like in the end times? Well, interestingly, he says in verse 8, you have a little strength. The idea here that is conveyed in the original language is that of a sick person coming back to life. Think about the last time you were sick. Maybe you had a fever. And man, when you're really sick, you don't want to move. You just lay there in your bed and everything nauseates you. And oh, you're just out of it. But then, you start having maybe a little chicken soup. And you start feeling a little bit better and a little strength returns and you get your appetite back and then you start eating and then you're able to stand up and pretty soon you're able to move around and you're getting stronger. You're not at full strength yet, but you're coming back, you're reviving. That's the picture of the church of the end times. It's not a super church. It's a church that has been out of its proper place and is getting back to its proper place. It's a church that's coming back to life. Jesus affirmed this in another statement in Luke 18 when he said, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? Meaning that when Christ returns, there won't be all that many with great faith. The church is not always the biggest group. In fact, sometimes we're the smallest, but we're loved by the Lord. That's why he says, fear not, little flock. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. So here's a church that is reviving. Now I want you to notice what Jesus says to the church of the end times. He says he has set an open door before them. He describes himself in verse 7 here in Revelation as the one who opens and no man shuts. And then in verse 8 as the one who has set before us an open door. And he also mentions the keys. The door is a symbol of opportunity. The key is a symbol of his authority. Paul used this concept of an open door to illustrate his opportunity to share the gospel over in 2 Corinthians 2. It says, I came to Troas to preach Christ's gospel, and a door was opened to me from the Lord. Paul and Barnabas also gathered the church together in the book of Acts, declared all that God had done and how the Lord had opened a door of faith to the Gentiles. But listen to this. Jesus has not only opened the door, but he has the key. There is no door so tightly closed that God cannot open it. Or to put it another way, there is no person beyond the reach of God. There is no thing that is impossible to him. Listen, we live at a critical time in human history. I think it's summed up best in the opening statements of the book, A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, when he writes, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. That's America today, don't you think? It's the best of times and the worst of times. In some ways, things have never been worse morally, but yet there's great opportunity for the gospel. There's an open door for us that we need to go through and reach out to other people. Now, back in the days of Philadelphia, they had the modern technology of their day, which would be the outstanding Roman roads that opened up much of the world to them. And they were able to travel over those roads and share the gospel with more people than ever before. Well, we have open doors and open roads and open communication. This message I'm giving to you right now is on the internet. It can reach anyone, anywhere around the world with access to the web, be it on a computer or a mobile device or a cell phone or whatever else. And we need to take this technology and use it for God's glory and reach as many people as we can. But let me localize it for a moment. There's an open door in your neighborhood, I'm sure. There's a neighbor. There's a friend. There's a family member that needs Jesus, and you need to pray that the Lord will show you what those doors of opportunity are and that you will walk through them. See, God can open a door, but I've got to walk through it. So take advantage of those opportunities that God opens. He says to the church of Philadelphia, I have opened a door for you.